Hey there, art fans. I've brought my bike out today and I'm in this little wetland area and I'm hoping to find somewhere to do a quick little painting demo to show you the fun and joy of painting outdoors. So I hope that the noise of the traffic in the background and the wind isn't too noisy for you and that you can still hear me. The point of having the traffic in the background is to prove to you that you don't necessarily have to go out on an epic hike to find nature in the city. Look, ducks! Wow! Bye-bye, ducks! So this is a little wetland area, not too far from where I live, that's easy to bike to. And I'm hoping to find a nice place to... something interesting to paint. Ooh, what's that bird? Okay. So I'm going to show you the materials that I brought with me. So some of the materials I brought with me today are my sketchbook. I've brought this one, which is a perfect little one it's a perfect size. My only problem with this sketchbook is that it's glue bound, which means that when I try to do panorama shots like this, they just kind of fall apart. So hand stitch books do work better, but this is a better size, and I'm probably just going to use a single sheet today. I brought my watercolor paints, and you don't need to bring this many colors with you. This doesn't take up too much space in my pack, but I definitely don't need this extra thing here. And you can try and train yourself just to come with a really limited palette, just your primary colors, and actually you could probably get away with just those primary colors. I brought some pencil crayons just in case. These are these color erase pencils that I actually got about 20 years ago that I thought, oh cool, pencil crayons that erase. They really don't erase, but they end up being quite good to use as portable pencil crayons. Just don't hope that you can erase those. And again, I brought a limited palette of those. Pencil sharpener, an assortment of black fine liner pens, and my white gel marker. And then these aquabrushes, which I can paint with, a ruler if I happen to need it, and some other things that I might need. If it's sunny, you might need some sunscreen. If you're gonna be a while, you might need a snack. I always have lip balm with me. Medication, just in case I need it. This is the little color chart that I made for my watercolors. That's my bike gear. And you might want to bring sunglasses, however they might make what you're looking at look darker. So I usually bring a hat, which shades the sun from my eyes and also protects my head from the gamma rays. No, not the gamma rays. The ultraviolet rays. I passed science. You might want to bring a lightweight jacket that's maybe windproof or water resistant, and an old t-shirt so that if you get paint on it, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's get started. A few other things I mentioned about safety. If you're actually out in the wild, obviously there's going to be other concerns that you need to take into consideration. If there's going to be bears or other wildlife, you need to bring the appropriate equipment for that. And also, if you're going to be in a busy park, you want to make sure that you're highly visible so that people can avoid you and stay those 2 meters away from you for safety. Alright, so I think I want to do this kind of little scene here. I've always loved bulrushes. I've always thought they were super cool, and I just enjoy sitting here because I can hear the birds more than I can hear the traffic. It's really nice. And there's some interesting reflections here that I can kind of play with. So let's get going. Hey guys, I had to start my painting again because I realized that I'd done a bunch of work on my other painting and the thing wasn't videotaping. So this is a little challenging because I am trying to paint what I see and look through the video camera, wave at myself, at the same time. So I've just kind of briefly started this scene again. And so I've gone in with like a yellow ochre color here to do the base color of that, of the bulrushes in the grass. And if I look over at the water, like water isn't blue like we think it is. Water is a reflection of the colors around it. So if we look at where the pond meets the bulrushes, we see that the color of the water where the reflection of the bulrushes is the same color as the bulrushes. So I'm going to go in with some more of that yellow ochre, and I'm going to paint that in. Now, one of the things I should have brought with me is paper towel. So I do this all the time. I wipe paintbrushes on my socks. I don't know if your parents would be happy if you wiped your paintbrushes on your socks, so ask them first. And also find out whether there's any toxic parts to the paint, like cadmium or other heavy metals. So I'm going to go in with a cerulean blue to create my sky. And when I do skies, because if we look at the sky here, it's definitely not all blue. There's some clouds. They look a little ominous, so I might have to book it out of here at some point. I don't worry about exactly where the clouds are. I just kind of slosh my brush around and make sure I leave plenty of white space so that I can put some clouds in at some point. Now, because this is Calgary and it's super sunny and warm, these the paint is drying almost right away. So I'm going to go in with some more of my yellow ochre mixed with, what is it, a raw sienna? Just sort of a warmish brown. They're both kind of baby poo colored. And again, I'm just gonna sort of go in really roughly. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a hooker's green. Whoop. Probably way too dark. And I'm going to go over where I have my actual grass. Again, working really quickly. There's some rocks underneath the bridge, so I'm going to go in and do those with, let's say, this raw umber. Oops, except I need to wipe that green off on my socks. And again, just kind of splish splash, splish splash, mark some rocks. Okay, so I'm going to go in and do a bit more work on this and then come back to you. When you're doing water, as I mentioned, it's usually a reflection of all the colors that it's actually reflecting. So usually I go in with the exact same colors that I created the rest of the landscape with. And I put those, you know, indiscriminately into the water. If it's not mirroring exactly the clouds in the ground, the clouds in the ground, I mean the clouds in the sky. That's how topsy-turvy the world is now. Clouds are in the ground. Anyway, so if it's not exactly reflecting what's up above it, that's not a big deal. I mean, as long as you're not putting something completely weird in there, like reflections of skyscrapers that don't exist. So I've got those colors in there, and I'm just gonna go in with, you know, it would be nice if I had a big sort of flat brush to do this, but I just wanna go in with almost like a wash, just a really light wash. And because it's water, I'm going in very watery with my color, and I'm going to basically let it drip down. Again, it would be easier if I had a big flat brush, but I'm painting outside, so this is what I have. So I've spent, you know, not very much time putting the information onto my painting, and I think that I am going to have to go home now. To give you an idea of how much time I spent on this, maybe 30 minutes. You know, to be honest with you these days, not to get too much information here, but since I can't use public washrooms, I can't actually go out for very long, not in the city anyway. So I'm gonna have to go home, and I can finish this up at home, but you can see that I got a fair amount of information on the page already. If you have questions about any of the other techniques that I may have used, you can send me an email and let me know. I will maybe finish this up a little bit when I get home, and then I can take a final picture of it. But you know, I just love painting outdoors, painting and drawing outdoors. I just find it so meditative. I really think you should try it. It's the perfect social distance, physical distance activity. And people think it's really cool. Like, I've already had kind of an audience, even though I thought nobody knew about this spot. But there were people watching me from a safe distance, and that's kind of cool because even though I'm an introvert, I'm also a tiny little bit of a show-off too. So you should get into that habit too, being proud of your work and showing it off, because whatever you think about it, people are gonna be amazed. People are just gonna be so impressed that you're out there doing it and being creative. And I really encourage you to do that. It's so much fun. So yeah, 20 to 30 minute painting for me here. My page is dry now, so I can close up my book and ride my bike home. And I'll see you guys later.